already checked, right? And double checked. And it was already confirmed that this person is Jamaican and he is from Kingston, Jamaica. Everything else is the same. So let's get right into the story. Queens, New York. A landlord by the name of David Daniel. He stabbed two tenants and his girlfriend to death for refusing to pay rent since COVID. Now, y'all know that COVID came and left, and the whole lockdown pandemic period and all that. It was a lot of people out here who were living rent free for quite some time, right? And it was a lot of landlords that were feeling the pain because they had to like put up with it under some mercy stuff. And the bills don't stop coming. So somebody got to pay the bills. So if you own a mortgage on a house, or you own a mortgage on a piece of property that you rented out, and those tenants aren't paying your rent, you can't pay your mortgage for that place. Now your whole business is about to be up in smoke, right? So anyhow, this is how the story went as far as we know. Bottom line, shortcut to the story for the short attention span people. The man name is David Daniel. He's 54 years old, and he is now facing charges after he turned himself into the police. He did a triple stabbing. Everybody got stabbed in there. And he turned himself into the police, and the murders reportedly may have been motivated by his tenants refusing to pay him rent. A New York landlord reportedly killed two of his tenants as well as his girlfriend. So that's three in a dispute over back rent. I'm wondering if he killed the girlfriend for rent too, or she was just a casualty along the way. Anyhow, the Jamaican who resides in the United States of America, David Daniel, he's 54 years old, and he's now facing murder charges as a result after he turned himself into the police moments after he committed the murders. The triple stabbing happened in St. Albans section of Queens, New York, sometime before 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and it left two women, ages 51 and 55 years old, dead, and one 57-year-old man as well, dead. Two of the victims, the man and the 55-year-old female, they were tenants at the single family home where the killing occurred, which is owned by the Jamaican Daniel and has been rented out for the past several years. It's a piece of property that he has owned for years, and he is the landlord to the property, and he has his tenants that pay rent. The tenants were found dead in the basement bedroom, and the suspect's girlfriend was found dead as well in their upstairs bedroom. So apparently he rents the bottom half of the house while he lives in the top half of the house. New York rent is crazy expensive, family. Crazy expensive. So people got to do what they got to do to pay the rent. It's like multiple families living in a house. If you don't have one of those super duper incomes, it's hard. New York got rent like $4,000 a month for a one-bedroom apartment and all that. I can't imagine how much the rent was for this house. But, he had his tenants in there, and I'm sure it helps to pay the bills. So he was heated that he couldn't get his money, according to what we're hearing so far. Anyways, Daniel turned himself into the police, and he confessed that he did it to law enforcement sources. These law enforcement sources said that he may have been motivated by a rent dispute that dates back to the pandemic. They didn't go into details. I don't know if he was giving them a break or they owed him some money from back then and they were supposed to pay the money, and then when the time came around they didn't want to pay the money, and that dispute erupted into what it is now. The triple murder happened just about 7 a.m. and David turned himself in to the 113th precinct minutes later, own up to the slayings. Minutes later, after turning himself in, he confessed to the police that he did it. He told officers that he was having issues with his tenants. The NYPD Assistant Chief Kevin Williams revealed to the reporters. The officer inquired further. What do you mean you're having trouble with your tenants and why are you here? Is there something happening? Are you guys fighting or what? And then he said that the man stated that I did something bad. I did something bad. Williams said of the suspect, who is said to have lived at the residence in the upstairs part of the house, possibly with his girlfriend where his girlfriend was found. The top cop delivered the statement directly outside of the 3-bedroom home, which was overrun with cops and media personnel on Tuesday morning. So he came in as calm as possible, and we thought, hey, he could be when he engaged the officers. So what the police is saying, that when he walked in to the police precinct, he was as calm as could be. And he was captured on body cam, because they were wearing body cameras when he approached them inside the precinct, right? And their body cameras were rolling, and you could see the footage of the body cam that he looked like absolutely nothing was wrong. It was just a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and he just strolled right on in to say hi to the cops. This is how the police described him, like he had no emotions or whatsoever shown. Dozens of lawmen, police officers, gathered at the home less than an hour after they received word of the murders, and they remained there over the course of the morning as cops at the precinct, which is about a mile away, relentlessly questioned the suspect. Of course, they're trying to find out the motive. What happened? Why did you do this? What was the aggravating factor? Are you just a cold-blooded murderer? Did you plan to kill these people? Or did you all have a dispute over something which led to this, etc., etc.? So the landlord gave cops the address to the home, told them he had done something bad, and he told them that he left the back door to the property open. NYPD Chief of Detectives and Joseph Kenny said later on Tuesday that as he recounted how the suspect said that, hey, I killed 3 people. I just did something bad. What did you do that was bad? I killed 3 people. Just like that. And they said it was flat and emotionless. You know, somebody get into a dispute that's not a killer, ends up stabbing and killing 3 people, to include your own girlfriend and your 2 tenants that you've known for quite some time. You're going to be a bit distraught when you go report this to the police. According to the police, not him. He was calm as ever. Police proceeds to descend up on the single-family 3-bedroom home around 7:16 a.m. Remember, he walked into them around 7 a.m. By 7:16, they had units all over the address, which is a mile away, where they found the bodies, and they were all pronounced dead. Now, during his alleged confession to the police, he told the cops that he had been having problems with his girlfriend, and that the 2 people in the basement, they had not been paying their rent either. So I guess he just blew a gasket. He blew his lid. Because if he told the police, yo, I was having problems with my girlfriend anyways, I guess he just figured, you know what? Tomorrow is the day. And since y'all downstairs not paying the rent, I'm taking you out. And since you right here upstairs with me, giving me problems anyways, cheating on me, doing whatever, you can go too. And he ends up taking everybody out. Several law enforcement sources have since confirmed that the suspect account for the story is real, revealing on Wednesday the 2 tenants had not paid rent since the start of the COVID pandemic, although they found out that some months have been paid, but most of the months since the start of the COVID pandemic till today has not been paid. Come on now. Like I said before, there were a lot of people that were using landlords, man, and I feel sorry for them landlords, you know, because people were getting the money, and they were getting stimulus checks, and people were, I mean, granted, some people were laid off during the pandemic. They couldn't get to work, places closed down. Remember how we were all locked in and people weren't allowed to gather in certain places in more than so many numbers. Hours were cut for many people's jobs. Most people were shopping online, all this other stuff. So everybody was affected. The landlords were hit the worst. But the country has been recovering, and jobs are everywhere, and people have been getting to their money, to include money, free money from the government. So why the hell are you not paying me my rent? This like 2 years worth of rent later, and you not moving out. You taking me to court for my own place. So I could see the frustration build up in this man. But damn it, man, he could have dealt with this using law enforcement. So according to this, several law enforcement sources have since confirmed the suspect accounts to be real, that it actually did happen, and he actually did kill his girlfriend in his bedroom upstairs, and kill his two tenants who were in the other bottom half of the house. Now, I don't even know, man. He says a reneging on the repayments may have spurred the stabbing, one insider told the Daily News, as several neighbors and relatives offered insight into the landlord's personal life and possibly state of mind before the murders. Because the police went out there and they asked the neighbors, do you know the guy that owns this house? How long has he lived here? Some of the neighbors are like, yeah, he's lived there for several years. You know, he's a pretty quiet guy. He keeps to himself. He doesn't really bother anybody, and he's not a loud person either. You know, even his tenants kind of state to themselves. So we haven't never had any problem with them, except for one person who spoke to the New York Times and told the New York Times that Daniel, the Jamaican landlord, he currently facing these charges on first and second degree murder. He said that Daniel periodically cut his neighbor's grass, and he would often stop by to say hello. So this right here is a shock. Another woman who lives next door said, nah, this is shocking. Can't be him. She told the news people that she had lived across the street from this house that Daniel owns for about 20 years. Another neighbor told the news that David had lived at the residence for at least 2 years, that they know him and have seen him there. And they said that they saw him outside just last week. And he was just outside cleaning up the yard, blowing the grass, and blowing the leaves with the leaf blower, you know, seeming all pleasant and stuff. One resident, also a neighbor who spoke to the news on Tuesday, recalled how the accused man, or the self-confessed killer man, initially was friendly when he first moved in. Hi, how you doing? I'm your neighbor. I'm David so-and-so. And then for absolutely no reason, he just turned cold. Like he wouldn't say hi anymore. He would look at me like he wanted to kill me. He would stare me up and down. That man probably thought you were effing his girl. I don't know. He was kind of okay. And we never had a problem, said a 62-year-old man who gave his name as Mike. He said, he was kind at first. We were talking, we were together, and, you know, talking and all that as neighbors. Then all of a sudden, he just stopped. And then he wouldn't talk to anybody around the neighborhood anymore. Another person who spoke to the New York Post said that they got a similar vibe from the suspect. He is friendly to some people, but he is not so friendly to others. One who asked to remain anonymous said, I'm in the second category, and I don't know why. Meaning, he wasn't friendly to me, and I don't know why, because I didn't do anything to him. He's just a very standoffish kind of person to me. Now, I'll be honest with you, man. Jamaican people, they're kind of funny culturally. Like, they have a thing in Jamaica where they say, my spirit just not take that person there. So if they feel like their spirits don't take you, then they just won't talk to you and they'll be standoffish to you. But that same person could be really, really nice and caring and loving and genuine to other people. But I think that's how people are, period. You know, some people you just don't like for whatever the reason may be. Maybe they just talk too loud in public and you're not a loud person. Maybe they love a lot of attention and you're not an attention seeker. They're the complete opposite of you. Maybe you witness them doing stuff like talking behind their friend's back. You don't want them doing that to you. Like, there's a million things why it could have been that. But this is the way his neighbors described him, right? Some of them are saying, most of them are saying he's quiet. He's not the kind of person that brings a lot of noise around. You know, he says hi and that's about it. And then there are those who said, hey, he started out being nice, but then all of a sudden I'm saying hi, he wouldn't even return the hi back. And I don't know what I did to him. Another person who lived on a street lined with trees recalls how Daniel once got so angry at him for waving at his girlfriend, who was often seen around the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? So just like I said earlier, that man probably thought you were trying to get at his girl, or maybe she was having an affair with you and you're laughing behind his back and he's trying to figure it out, but he can't. You know, he was paranoid, jealous, that kind of thing. And he would get angry at anybody who would wave hi to his woman. That's the same woman that he ended up killing. Another person said, man, he had this awkward look when you're ready, like you're ready to kill somebody kind of look. This is what the man recounted as well to the news crew, asking them to remain anonymous. I'm like, bro, what's up, bro? Why are you staring at me like that? You got a problem? He says he remembers confronting him because of the way he would stare at him. So he confronted him like, yo, what's up? You got a problem with me? Why are you staring at me like that? He said his girlfriend said that I waved at her and I was trying to be flirtatious with her. But it was more of a neighborly, hey. I wasn't trying to fight him or anything. I was just like, hey, like, what's up? Why are you staring at me like that? What did I do to you? It wasn't like, hey, what's up? Why are you staring at me like that? Kind of thing, right? And he confronted him and he actually said, yeah, my girl told me, or my woman told me that you trying to flirt with her and you trying to wave to her and all that. So this man was really out there jealous to be confronting your neighbors if they waved at your woman and said hi. Oh, wow. He said, my girlfriend told me that you waved at her and you were smiling when you were doing it. I bet his girlfriend never told him anything like that. Yet another neighbor painted a different picture of the landlord, revealing that he was a family man and he has daughters and he loves his daughters. They were his life. St. Albans Stacy Brown, who's 34 years old, said she also revealed that in addition to renting out his residence, he also owns a wholesale grocery company. So he's making bread. You know what I mean? He's doing pretty well. He owns the property. He rents out part of the property. He also owns a wholesale grocery company. She described the suspect as a very business-minded man. This is what she told the news. He was so nice and he was so gentle. He was a very, very nice person. He loves to go out. He used to post pictures of himself and his girlfriend at different restaurants and clubs. You know, he's a very outgoing kind of person. Now, as for Daniel, the Jamaican landlord, he remained locked up at the station where he walked in after he allegedly committed the murders and confessed to the police that he did it, with an arraignment date that has not been set yet. Speaking about the suspect, Tuesday, Kenny recalls how Daniel didn't appear to be bloody or anything when he showed up at the station house, while describing his demeanor as very matter-of-factly. Hey, I did something bad. I killed 3 people. They're at the house. I'll tell you the address. I left the back door open so you could go right in. He just wanted to tell his story, the detective said, adding that his statements were captured on the officer's body cameras and they were devoid of emotions. The names and the ages of the victims, meanwhile, were not made public yet at that time and come from law enforcement sources that are familiar with the still ongoing case. Cops could not provide any update on the suspect's conditions when asked Wednesday morning, citing the still developing case. Kenny said that officers are still working to notify the victims' families of their death. Listen, wild, wild story. Now I know I started this story off by saying I don't know why y'all still messing with them West Indian people, especially them Jamaicans, because their blood is hot. Now, somebody might be offended by that, but I run a platform that caters mostly to Caribbean people, and specifically we talk a lot about Jamaicans because I am a Jamaican myself. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. The calmest, nicest, well-positioned Jamaican person will be just that to you. But I'm telling you, if you cross them the wrong way, shit could get violent real quick. I'm just saying. But with that said, I don't want you to use this to look at every Jamaican. I'm just telling you, and there's some humor to it, but there's a lot of reality to it. At the end of the day, things can go down with anybody, regardless of whatever their background is. You know what I'm saying? With that said, man, I'll leave this one right here. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Y'all be careful out there, because these landlords are not playing. Go and look up on YouTube, not YouTube, go on Google and look up Landlord Kills Tenants 2022-2023, and you will realize that a lot of this has been going on. This is just another one. Catch y'all on the next video. I'm out. Hit that subscribe button. Peace.